I'm trying to think of the bands. The first or second band I ever saw, like live, that I really wanted to see live was at Warped Tour 20. You were there. Was it 2009?
Was it A Day to Remember?
No. It was like it was a day to remember was there.
303?
No,
303 was
we
there.
left for 303. I wasn't there for that. No, it was like we showed up. I remember Kings of Leon. No, not Kings of Leon. We Three Kings. Played, but then right before them was
Is that what
yeah. But right before them was they did a cover of Umbrella on like Pop Goes Punk.
Was it good?
I liked it.
Cool. Okay.
But I was also super into like, I don't know, like soft metal, like hardcore, A Day to Remember, Devil Wears Prada, stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
It wasn't Simple Plan, was it?
Is Pierce the Veil in that?
All Time Low?
Yeah, All Time Low. All Time Low played, cool. And it was like the first song. And first of all, we were like, I was like 15.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there watching these guys that
That's
are
a
like,
prime Warped Tour age.
Yeah, they were like 19. You know, like I think one of the guys in the band was still in high school at the time, and like there was this rumor that like, oh yeah, he completed high school on the road. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Did he really?
I have no idea. I don't know if that was true or not. But we were in high school, so we were like, yeah, man, that could be us. But yeah, they like got to the end of the song and they were like, is that a fight? Is that a fight? Is someone fighting in the crowd? And they like called these guys out, and they were like,
I think I remember
hey,
this.
Oh, good for them.
Hey, those guys are fighting. And then they started like making fun of them. They're like, I have a bigger penis. No, I have a bigger penis.
Yeah, I remember
Let's fight at All Time Low.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're gonna stop fighting.
Yeah, and then they were embarrassed, and then they were like, "Hey, we're All Time Low. Show us your titties." And then they started playing a song, and we were like,
So I remember A Day to Remember playing, and them doing like The Wall. Do you remember like The Wall?
Yeah, The Wall.
Yeah,
yeah.
And you'd have two sides of the audience just separate, and then they would just like run at each other.
I think that was probably Devil Wears Prada because that was same show.
I remember. Yeah, I mean were they there? I remember Bring Me the Horizon.
Bring Me the Horizon was there,
and just like, and I remember like I wasn't part of it. I stood back and watched, and I was like,
yeah,
what the fuck is this?
That's some goofy shit.
Just like all these people being, oh, and then they're like getting ready, and then they all just like run at each other, and then and whoever's on stage, like, everybody, they like start screaming. Everybody's like doing this and shit, and I'm like,
yeah, man, I was super into it in high school.
What year was that stuff going down?
I think it was probably 2010. I think it was the year. I think it was the summer after my freshman year.
That was, I think, the tour that. It was either Rise Against or Paramore was supposed to be there, and then they skipped Denver out of nowhere, and
I want to say it was Paramore.
They kind of took away like 50% of the reason why I even went.
Yeah, I want to say it was Paramore.
Which I saw them later at the Fillmore.
Yeah.
And they were pretty good.
Yeah. I have the ticket from the show that was also signed by everybody from A Day to Remember, and then also We Three Kings, who I only know Check Yes Juliet. I don't know any of those.
I don't know anything else by them. I think I used to. But.
I remember the guy was really nice. The like lead singer.
I do remember them being really nice.
Total sweetheart.
Do you remember when we met the lead singer of Lydia? And
those guys were awesome.
I love Lydia.
Those guys were so cool, and that guy was hammered.
The lead singer of Lydia was hammered and had no interest in meeting his fans.
No.
And then the two other remaining band members, because there used to be 5 and 2 of them quit. The 2 remaining band members who were on tour with him were really chill, and
they looked fed up with him.
And they were clearly trying to distract from the fact that he wanted nothing to do with the fans.
Okay,
and they were doing like
the other thing was what was the other band that we met?
You know, you're just my Saint Motel.
We met Saint Motel. They had not blown up at all.
Saint Motel wasn't famous yet.
No, and they talked to him about like being a musician for like, I swear to God, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was awesome. They were so nice.
They went back to their van to get me merch and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they went out to their van, they took their merch thing, they let me buy it and stuff. They had me join their emailing list, and then they called their drummer over, and he was like, this is why you need to just go for it. And like, I was drumming in California for however many months. I was like, this is so cool. These guys, they were
awesome. And then we saw them at 93.3's big gig. Like,
we did.
Not even a year later.
And they were playing...
They were playing Just My Type.
They were playing Fiddler's Green.
Yeah,
which is it's larger than... It's like double the size of Red Rocks.
Who's introing this?
This is me.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've listened to this album. This is No Singles, a podcast where we discuss albums from front to back in an attempt to promote comprehensive album listening. I'm Nate.
I'm JR.
And I'm Brandon.
Yes! Brandon, what's up?
We got Brandon here today. Flew all the way here from Hawaii.
That is true.
Just to be on the podcast.
Yeah. And I didn't sleep on the plane. And there's a 7-hour time difference. I got a couple hours on Nate's couch.
How you doing?
I'm doing like way better than I thought. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
What part of Hawaii do you live on?
So I live on Oahu. I live in Mililani, which, if anyone's familiar with Hawaii, it's like the least Hawaiian part of Hawaii you can live in. It's just it's the suburbs in Hawaii. So it's like a little mainland America in the middle of the island.
Cool.
Yeah, I tell people I live in Mililani. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
My sister used to live on Waikiki for a long time.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It's so obvious you all are related.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I've heard that we have very similar voices.
That's what I was gonna comment on. It's like your articulation and your like
Pronunciation.
I guess just your little sayings and stuff.
Sure.
You know?
We got Washed Out, Life of Leisure, from 2009.
The odds, baby.
More of the aughts, barely, but it is the aughts.
It makes the cut.
And then we got Nine Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral, 1994. Year that you were born, actually.
Yep.
Now that I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, it's like 6 months older than me.
Yeah.
What are your bona fides?
Yeah, what are your bona fides?
Not much. I played bass for a metal band in high school.
What was the name?
Fear the Heartless.
Fear the Heartless?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like that.
Yeah, I practiced with the band for a while, probably, I don't know, several months. I played in one show at a church.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was it there. I did very briefly actually play bass in a band with Nate in Denver. Never played a show with them. The Hollow Hearted.
The Hollow Hearted.
Yeah.
You were in that band?
Not really. Oh. Well, hey, one of my bona fides is that I have listened to every episode so far of No Singles.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I've listened to all the episodes. I practiced bass with those guys, but I kept on like missing practices and stuff because there was a girl and that I was spending way too much time with. And so Nate kicked me out of the band.
Oh, Nate, what the hell?
Yeah, right. He didn't show up to like 3 practices in a row.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And I guess my last bona fide is that I'm Nate's brother. So we had the same musical upbringing.
So we split off.
That's true. Yeah. So I think that we'll probably talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that once
with the Downward Spiral. But we grew up being quizzed by our dad in the car. About,
Me too.
Yeah.
Like Meatloaf.
Those were and I should say I've been playing guitar since I was 13.
Yeah.
So 17 years now.
Cool.
But sadly, Brian Wilson passed away today.
Man.
So I've got a beach-themed shirt, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Beach Boys.
Rest in peace, dude.
Beach shirt with the boys.
So you picked Washed Out.
Yes. Life of Leisure, their little second little EP they put out. Nate, what do you know of Washed Out? What's your relationship?
The fucking Portlandia song, dude. Like that is the cool. I mean everyone's heard it, and there's that sped up version that you hear sometimes.
Brandon, what's your relationship to Washed Out?
The same, and I didn't even know that was. I heard the song halfway through the EP, and I was like, "Oh God, where do I know this from?" I had to ask Nate.
How about you? What's your
Washed Out?
What's your experience here with Washed Out?
Dude, it had to have been like 2010 or something.
Yeah,
around there when I found them. That's it. It was just running around with the indie kids in my hometown. And they're like, "Hey, you should check out this band, Washed Out, dude." And I was like, "Oh, cool. This is weird and different.
Yeah.
There's no guitars played on this album.
No.
Which is, I think, a first on the podcast.
I think it is a first on the podcast.
That's why I wore this shirt.
Playing guitar.
Yeah.
Well, guitar.
Yeah, it's a good album. It's dubbed chillwave, synth pop, dream pop, bedroom pop, and electronic.
Yeah.
Which is the first of its kind that we've done, I think, so far.
Chillwave is what I saw popping up a lot.
Yeah, apparently, so Pitchfork dubbed him the godfather of chillwave, which is so hilarious. I really like that. Came out September 8, 2009, under Mexican Summer, which is cool because that's in Greenpoint in Brooklyn.
Oh,
and I bike right by where, I don't know if it's still there or not, but where it used to be.
Yeah.
Currently is, but I bike there on the way to work. Some random artists that have been with Mexican Summer, Kurt Vile.
Yeah, Kurt Vile. War on Drugs.
Best Coast.
Best Coast, dude. That's a good band.
Yes, they're so good.
Good duo.
Kate LeBon. The Soft Pack. The Tallest Man on Earth. Coming up soon in the future.
Oh, nice.
And All Lost.
All Lost.
I just listened to that episode.
Yeah.
The only stuff that I really read about this sport, it's only one person. Washed Out is one guy.
Yeah. So Ernest, he's a hard time reading my handwriting.
He's got like 4 names.
Ernest Weatherly Green Jr. is a singer-songwriter / record producer.
Yeah.
He was born in Perry, Georgia.
Yeah.
And he got a Master of Library and Information Science, but couldn't find any librarian jobs at all, so he moved back in with his parents.
Yeah.
So in his parents' house, he had this whole cool little bedroom studio. Before he got big, before he released anything, he was collaborating on a bunch of dance music with local band Bedroom. Don't know.
That's what I was looking up. Yeah, he was somebody. He was like, I'm producing hip hop beats, and then I was playing with Bedroom, and then this happened.
He's steeped heavy in the hip hop scene. He loves that kind of stuff. Oh, in 2008, he made lo-fi indie rock under the name Lee Weather, but became noticed the summer of 2009 as Washed Out.
Right.
His drowsy, distorted pop blends were discovered by influential bloggers after he uploaded it to his MySpace page.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, that's how you did it back then.
Y'all still have a MySpace? Is it out there?
It's somewhere out there. Unless they deleted it.
I think mine still exists. More importantly, the Fear the Heartless MySpace page still exists, but
no way.
The music was deleted in that. Yeah, in I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago. Tanner may have a copy.
Ernest's first EP, which actually had 9 songs, so a pretty hefty EP. Mm-hmm. It's titled High Times, and it was only released on cassette initially.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Pretty lo-fi type shit. His second release was a CD exclusive to his 2010 tour, and it was just called Untitled. And on the CD, all 8 tracks were called Untitled.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone out there has this CD, please send it to me so I can hear what the heck is on there. I bet it's really cool. But his next official release is in as his debut studio album, Within and Without, under Sub Pop on July 12th, 2011. His debut New York City show and his second live show ever was at Santos Party House in Tribeca, which is pretty cool.
I listened to an interview where it was a couple years after this came out, but he had just played Bowery.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We played there. Not as Man's Dreaming.
Not as Man's Dreaming, but I think
Separately.
he did the Bowery Ballroom.
Yeah.
Not the
Goals.
The map room or whatever.
Oh my gosh, did you know the owner of Baby's Alright passed away?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, dude. What is happening?
So is Baby's Alright gonna...
Is Baby's Alright
be alright?
Baby ain't alright.
Yeah, shit.
We'll see. I mean, it's not gonna fizzle out into nothing, but...
Yeah, but still.
Sucks. In 2010, he plays the Pitchfork Music Festival before Pitchfork went to shit. And... Feel It All Around, the
song that we all know.
The song that we all know, the 4th track on the EP, is selected for Portlandia, which premiered January in 2011.
Yep.
Big deal. Like, I can see the opening sequence in my mind.
The houses and...
Yeah. It fits the vibe of the show. So
100%.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
My aunt lived in Portland for a long time, and she was always like, Don Richard, let me tell you, you gotta watch a show called Portlandia, because that's kind of what it really is like in real life. Oh, the album artwork.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we all know the album artwork. It fits the vibe.
Yes.
So well.
Mm-hmm.
That's Ernest's wife floating in the ocean during their honeymoon.
Oh, wait. Let me guess. I thought it looked like Spain.
It was St. Simon's Island in Georgia. So, like, local.
Wait, Georgia, the country?
Yes. No, Georgia, USA. Eat a peach. Oh, where he grew up in Georgia, there's, like, some quotes and stuff of him saying, like, oh, the Allman Brothers. That was, like, the big shit down here, and I felt so weird playing my dance music because that's what everyone was into. Yeah. So, like, I know we relate to that as, like, musicians. It's like, I don't want to be playing classic rock or like country all the time.
Right. He even mentions his parents living in a peach orchard.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, they live like in the middle of nowhere in a peach orchard.
That's pretty cool. He's literally eating a peach.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so you're just from Georgia. So all the stereotypes are just true, I guess.
Peaches is his name.
And also I think most people know, like, the architecture in coastal Georgia is based off of Spanish architecture. So,
cool.
That's why you got the two things mixed up.
Yeah, it's not because
that's cool.
It's not because you're an idiot.
No, it's because people in Georgia really like Baroque style architecture.
Yeah. So liar. He's lying. Fucking liar.
I'm trying to save face on the podcast. No, I'm smart. He grew up playing piano.
Sure.
Then he picked up guitar. But he was like, I can't really write songs that well on the guitar, so let me switch over to something else. I found all this in a DMY.co interview.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. His first software was Fruity Loops.
Dude, that's what Bryant mixed everything on.
It's the real deal.
Fruity Loops works, you know, whatever gets you there. I mean, we're using Voice Meter Banana to do this show, so.
And he says, the average washed out song goes like, put a small piece of a sustained note that's isolated in an old 70s disco song. Mm-hmm. I take that little bit out, transpose it on the keyboard, so in essence, I am playing that synthesizer. Mm-hmm. Right? Just changes pitch, and he's like taking that sound and then just turning it into his keyboard, which I thought was really cool. It explains a lot of the sounds on the record.
It does.
A lot of the songs. His gear that I used to record the EP was some random MIDI controller. Couldn't find info anywhere. An old Dell desktop computer.
Yep.
A software called Reason. And then another software called Cubase SE from 2003 or 2004. Huh. That means nothing to me, but...
whatever gets you there.
Yeah.
Alt J talks about this, where they had an album where they went to a thrift shop and they found this like old keyboard that they're like, oh, this thing's like from the 80s, and it just had like really like basic sounds on it and stuff. It's on their album. It's featured on one of their hit songs because they were like that's the cool thing. Or on there's like a Radiohead song where they filled just bottles with sand and they use them as shakers, and that's just on an album that sold like millions. You know, like
having a brand name instrument is a scam.
Yeah.
From a lifelong gear acquirer who has tried to jump out of that, it's a scam.
Yeah, so I was at one point in my life touring schools in Detroit, and we went to, like in the Motown Museum, they have in one of the rooms, in order to get, I don't remember what they called it, if they called it like an echo box or something like that, they cut a hole in the ceiling and then just left it open to the attic, and you could stand underneath the hole, and they mic'd up like right underneath the hole, and then they sang, and to get their reverb instead of running it through something, it was just natural acoustics through the ceiling.
Dude, I'm into that.
And it created the reverb. It was, and so then they'd be like, okay, now like come stand over the hole and like say something. I was like, this is so cool.
You did it?
Yeah. You can go stand underneath and like you know just talk, and it's like you know, like sometimes you walk through a room and you're talking, and you hear like that echo, and you're like, oh my god, how'd that like
the verb
or that they like created it themselves. They just like cut this hole in the ceiling to create the reverb that they wanted.
Dude, I love a good like natural effect like that.
Yeah,
that's really cool. And then they sell these albums that all go to number one, and we all remember.
Yeah, and then they don't have to contribute to Voice Meter Banana.
Cool. Watch that. Y'all want to jump into the
let's jump
tracks?
into it.
All right, so first up, we have Get Up.
Very good intro to tell you exactly what the album is about to be.
Yeah.
I mean...
super staggered synth, like...
Yeah. It's only 6 songs. You could possibly put anything at the start of this, and you'd kind of get the gist of it, but like...
Sure.
Yeah.
If I say syncopation...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It was that's a $5 word I learned in a music class in college. So this is a little sizzle for what's coming up, but there's a lot of syncopation in the first track of Downward Spiral.
Oh.
And I wasn't crazy about it in Downward Spiral, and then I listened to this right after that, and my only note on this was syncopation on the first track again. It kind of like tripped me out, but there's something about that beat that's like actually kind of makes this for me like the least chill. It like almost gives me anxiety.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like Downward Spiral.
I know. I was gonna say we're gonna run into that again on Downward Spiral,
which was interesting because Radiohead made me anxious, but in a different way.
Sure.
Amnesiac.
Yeah,
this is a cool song. I think it's good. I mean, it's like there's nothing remarkable about the track, but I think it's just a good like, hey, by the way, I'm washed out. You know.
Sure.
It's very casual. It's very easy.
Also, from what I could tell, I think the name Washed Out is just because he is a photographer too, and he just likes the term washed out.
That's
what I found that in an interview where he was like, yeah, the term comes from when you take a picture and everything's washed out.
So 4 songs on this EP have big old samples in them of a whole other songs, right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
So Get Up, this song samples Got to Get Up by Change from 1983.
He took like sort of kind of like the most basic part of it and just like
he takes the intro, like it's the same intro, but then he's like doubling it and then starting it, so it's like 2 songs playing at the same time. Just delayed, but he leaves out the bass line, which is super good. He's cutting out on the interesting stuff, which is not a bad take. It's
a different one, and I do think you still wind up with, you know, you get that, and then you get like Cigarettes After Sex, and then you get like whoever did Lovers Only, people experimenting with music, even if it's not your thing, they probably make something, they probably influence somebody who makes something that you enjoy.
Cool. So our next track is New Theory.
Theory.
Damn, what a good song.
Yeah, New Theory is
Brandon, you're so right, dude. This should be the title track.
I appreciate that.
What do you say? You pop in the cassette, turn the car on, pop in the cassette. This flies on.
This dancey thing comes in. Yeah, this is a lot better. This starts, and I'm just like, if you told me like this is an Empire of the Sun track, I would believe you.
Yes, dude, yes. I knew we were gonna have the same take on this. First thing that I wrote in my notes: Empire of the Sun. Yeah, I love the vibe of this song.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The chorus at 105. Whatever synth he's using there, he soaks it in reverb and it lingers a lot. And I think it really is a nice contrast from the first song that we heard a second ago. His vocals are great too. He's a good singer.
Yeah,
it's super lo-fi, but it's good.
His like he was like going a little more falsetto on this one.
Yes,
it sounds good.
Yes,
really well layered. Yeah,
yes, really well layered.
Maybe this is my favorite on the album. I'm gonna keep listening because the next one actually might be too. I'm still trying to figure out what my favorite is.
So this one is also a sample. The sample is called "Feel It" by Revelation from 1980.
Okay, this one I think he brings a new take to it. Get Up I think was just kind of stripped down, but this like feels like he's got a new take.
I agree. I think that he took this and made it its own thing more so than Get Up.
Yeah. This sounds more like this has more of like the washed out sound to it. Yeah, I think than Get Up.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the song. I thought it was good.
Yeah. I can't decide if this one's my favorite on the EP or not.
Well, maybe you'll just have to hold out.
Wow. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think it's a bit when his vocals come in, it's already reminding me of Get Up. It's making me think of Feel It All. But I do really like the funky like bass right away that's coming in.
It has more of like a cinematic adventurous tone.
Yeah.
It's less like lighthearted and fun.
Yeah.
It's more of like a serious like, hey, I can also do this vibe, not just dreamy like glassy pop, right?
Yeah. It's my favorite track on the album.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
cool.
It reminds me of like 80s synthwave playlists, and like I feel like it could go into a number of Ryan Gosling movies like Drive or
Yes,
Blade Runner 2049. Like it feels like that 80s inspired synthwave like movie soundtrack. Yeah, I like it. I already added it to a playlist that I have.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good song. I wrote down like futuristic. At 2:14, there's some great effects that sound like wind almost. Like, and they go up and get really high.
I love that effect. I don't know what he's like. I don't know how he got that, but that like it sounds like it's running up a scale or something like that. I love that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
it's in this original. It might be in the original.
It's the
song.
Original. Yeah. So what's this sample?
I did write down at the end the ending. To me, it's just a little like repetitive.
Yeah.
It's a little long. Maybe just put something in there.
Mm-hmm.
I like the bass cut at the end, but it's like an abrupt.
Yeah. I do like the end.
Yeah.
His vocals are, and this isn't like to put down a pun or anything, but they're washed out in the song.
Yes,
too.
they are.
Yeah.
The original song is West Coast Drive by VIP Connection from 1976.
All right.
So that's like a 1970s freaking cop show.
Yes.
You
know?
Yeah. It does sound like that. It's very. I like that a little more.
I like the samples more than.
Yeah.
I like Hold Out more.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I do like the song more than I like what he's sampling. I feel like he's added enough.
It's a little
more interested.
Funky, but yeah. Feel It All Around.
This is one of my favorite song intros. It's in my top like 50 of all time. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know it's like a slowed down song, but it's so when this pops on, it's a certain feeling. It's like nighttime, chill, great. This is like washed out song, you know.
Yeah.
I really like New Theory. This one is tied for my favorite with that one.
Mm-hmm.
He's layering so many vocals on top of each other, but it doesn't feel like cheesy or corny.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it can sound kind of corny. I'm realizing as I'm writing this, it's odd and kind of hard to comment on the construction of a song when it's a slowed down sample from an old 80s song. Because it's like he didn't make this song, he's just kind of like slowing it down. So I thought it was like thinking back to all of the music we've talked about on the podcast already. Right. It was just weird to think about. Like, he didn't make these sounds, so I can't really comment on like, oh, I like this sound. I like how he did this. It's more like, I like how he pieced this together, and I liked how he was thinking about the components of this song to make it what it is.
Right.
It was just totally different than what we've done.
It's a very different way of thinking about the construction of music or deconstruction of music.
It's making me think about like when Ethan was on.
Yeah.
The producer. Yeah. Made me have like a little window into like a producer's headspace for a second. Listening to this EP, which I never really. I play an instrument. I don't like produce stuff, you know.
Right. Yeah, you're not like sifting through pieces of a song. You're writing the whole thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the vocal mix in it. I don't really know how to describe it, but just whatever he's doing with the vocals on it, I love. I just love the sound. And then I think this was where I started to listen to the album more in a mindset of like, instead of thinking of this as indie music, I'm starting to think of this as like house music, like EDM house. Like this is just like good background listening.
Sure,
kind
definitely.
of. Yeah. I'm
glad you said house music because bring that back up right before I show you the song he sampled.
Okay, all right.
I like that. That's cool. Because I could definitely see this whole EP being played at like not like a crazy rager, but like a gathering at a house in like the burbs or something where a bunch of friends are just having some beers and stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
What is it sampling?
The song he sampled is I Want You by Gary Lowe from 1983.
Okay. I like Washed Out's voice better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the washed out version more.
Yeah.
Me too.
But
it's just interesting to hear the original.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because it is not what I thought it would be at all.
I mean, that one's still good. I think the instrumentation on that one is good. I really like the drums in there too. Yeah. What's the next one? Lately?
Yeah.
It doesn't medley into the next one or anything.
No,
not at all. It's totally random.
I think I'm engaging more with the album when I hear a dancey track like this.
Interesting. I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I like the New Theory.
Yeah,
the slower like nighttime feel.
Yeah. I think this one's all about the beat.
Yeah.
Like everything else is just window dressing for the beat, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do like right at the end where the vocals start to waver with the beat, it's like very One More Time by
One More Time.
That's Daft Punk, right?
Yeah. I do think this is kind of it's a bit repetitive, but it's not even 2 minutes long. So it's fine. That's still
that's true.
Put it in the context of like you're in like a venue somewhere in Brooklyn, right? And they're playing this and they maybe loop it 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah.
Just kind of I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He loops the vocals in the end. But there's a super random weird it sounds like artificial strings on a synth.
Mm-hmm.
Just for like a second.
Yeah.
It doesn't medley into the next song. It's just really weird. I don't know if it's intentional. I mean, it's gotta be.
It's gotta be, but yeah. I get what you're saying.
It's weird.
It is. I mean, he's like trying stuff out a little bit too.
Yeah, good for him.
I don't think he's venturing very much outside of his comfort zone, but also this thing is only 6 songs long.
And it's his second EP. He's never performed live, so it's like
right. Made this in his room in his parents' house.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think this is my least favorite song on the album.
Yeah, because this and New Theory are my two. I think New Theory is my favorite, but when it's dancey, I'm feeling it more. I'm just like not as into the slower stuff. I don't know why. I need to examine this. I like a good slower guitar song, but something about the electronic stuff is just not hooking me in. Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe it's because my parents didn't show me enough affection or something.
You'll see it?
You'll see it. Final track on the album.
Yeah.
Let's see how he ends this dang thing. I take back what I said. This is my favorite track on the album.
Oh, I knew you would like this song. I love this song. This song is so good. It pops into this vibrant bloom of sound. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's dancey, but not in the thrash your limbs about in the club. This is I don't know. It just feels so different than the other dance tracks.
Yeah.
How long is this?
This one is 2 minutes and 52 seconds.
Perfect, man.
Right, yeah.
Perfect.
I would say this kind of builds on Lately. It's got the dance beat, but then it adds more ideas to it.
Sure.
And it almost makes me like Lately even less because...
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm almost, I'm like, well, Lately was a great jumping off point.
Yeah.
And then I think You'll See It was a really good way to conclude that.
Yeah.
So I'd almost just cut Lately. But that's entirely, that's all me.
You'll See It. Yeah. So you would take Lately out of the whole thing?
Yeah, I think I might.
I think I need that dancey track in there.
Yeah, I think that's just a difference of opinion. I don't like the dancey stuff quite as much. So
You'll See It is really driving though, and it's got some layers in it, and it does remind me of Closer by Nine Inch Nails a little bit. Shit. It's got that sort of thing in there, and it ends this album in a way that I'm like, this feeds a little bit into the next album we're going to talk about.
Now
we
you
don't
say
need
that,
to jump on it.
I think you're right.
I think he the place. I think the order of all the songs on this EP is really well done because it's I would love this to be earlier, but it's at the end and it's leaving you wanting more. So I'm gonna be does he have anything else out there that's
Yeah, I think that works really
this,
well. EP.
Super intentional, super pulling the fish out of the water, the bait thing.
Sure. Yeah.
He's baiting.
Reeling in. There it is. Only the harmonized part of the vocals have a tremolo on it that goes with the beat.
Sure.
It is so cool, and it feels like when you're at a show and you can kind of feel it in your chest. It feels like the sound's so loud it's almost wavering.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this sounds like it was performed live, in my opinion. This whole track.
It does. Yeah, it feels like you're at a club.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is really well done. This, I think this is his most technically proficient song on the EP, in my opinion.
You don't have the billboard.
Dude, you're done with this. You're just ready for the billboards.
No, because
I'm just
because you don't have a laptop in front of you. I was like, oh shit, it's September 8th, 2009, and this didn't chart.
Any more notes before I hit the billboard?
I think that this is just a tidy little EP. I wouldn't own this on vinyl.
I wouldn't own this on vinyl, but I will give a huge asterisk of I don't have a vinyl player.
That's not part of it. That's not part of it.
Oh, every guest we give you a brand new Audio-Technica X3481.
Yeah.
Sick. I still wouldn't.
So this is... Oh, God. What am I saying?
The album releases September 8th, 2009.
Thank you.
Then,
so
the
this is the week of
after.
September 19. Gives it some little wiggle room, some time.
Yeah.
So number 10 is artwork by The Used.
Oh, The Used. Okay.
Yeah. I know the name.
Number 9 is Fearless by Taylor Swift.
Good for her.
She's been, what week is she on? How long has that been on the Billboard? Do you know?
43 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a really long time.
I remember that album being huge.
Oh, yeah. That played everywhere in Tennessee, in
Was
every
that-
supermarket, everything.
Sorry, was that her big...
Nobody could get tickets to the Bluebird Cafe all of a sudden.
Exactly. I can't believe you know what the Bluebird Cafe is.
Yeah, because I couldn't get tickets there when I went to Nashville.
No, nobody can. Number 8 is Revolution. No, Revolution. Revolution by Pitbull. Revolution.
Mr. Worldwide himself.
Oh, number 7 is Only by the Night, Kings of Leon.
Okay.
50 weeks on the chart.
Good for them.
That's a long time. Sci-Fi Crimes by Chevelle is number 6.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Wow, I forgot about Chevelle.
Chevelle, dude, yeah.
Number 5 is Breakthrough by Colby Callier. Sorry, Colby. Number 4 is Bang, Pow, Boom by Insane Clown Posse. Number 3 is Ready by Trey Songz with a Z.
Sure.
Yep.
Number 2 is The Time of Our Lives EP by Miley Cyrus.
What was on that?
I don't know.
I guaranteed, we know a song off that.
Yeah, definitely.
Tennessee person.
Yeah.
Number 1, I Look to You by Whitney Houston. Cool. Yeah, that was a good little EP. Is it our first EP on the... No,
I don't think...
Les Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Les Paul.
That one.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Galvin guitars, right?
Wow, yeah, good memory. Oh my god.
That was a fun album. That's something I never would have listened to if it wasn't on.
It's the point of this podcast.
One of my all-time favorite guitar players.
Okay, Nine Inch Nails. Trent Reznor is Nine Inch Nails. That's what it says.
Yes.
On the album. Nowadays, it's him and Atticus Ross. Atticus Ross is the only other official member to be added to Nine Inch Nails. They make soundtracks to movies. They win...
It's pretty cool.
They win Oscars for it. I mean,
Which it makes sense after listening to this album.
Nine Inch Nails itself, though, is doing its first soundtrack for a movie, right? Actually titled as Nine Inch Nails. It's I don't remember what movie it was. It was coming out soon.
Oh, instead of Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Right. What, Tron? Is it Tron? It's the new Tron movie.
Cool. Holy shit.
Yeah, except for it stars Jared Leto, who just got outed as being a pervert, and everybody's like, we know.
So what I know. I was like, wait, this is the first time these allegations
I guess we
have come
can't
out?
cover 30 Seconds of Mars on this show now. Wow. Anyways, so Nine Inch Nails, 1989, Pretty Hate Machine comes out. It's a big, it is what connects, is what people have been waiting for to connect industrial rock to pop. Mm-hmm. It is the fusing of the two. It's fantastic. He wants to zag. In 1992, he comes out with Broken. It's an EP. It's more metal. He wants to keep his listeners on their toes. Everybody follows him with it and stuff. The Downward Spiral comes out in 94 with the intention of making something that's going to be even more challenging for his audience to listen to. Trent Reznor really doesn't want to be stale with his sound. So he wants to keep it with industrial rock because it's what he knows how to play. He grew up learning piano from his grandma. He fell in love with piano. He loves all the scales and stuff, and from there he could just learn everything. He was a tuba player. He was in a barbershop quartet.
Get out of here! Are you serious?
Yeah. The dude was he what was it? David Bowie wrote about Trent Reznor, and he was like, when people were lining up to be crowned the king of industrial rock, nobody knew it would be the nerd with his trombone that would beat everyone out for it.
That's great.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you see images of Trent Reznor, the man looks the part. By 1994, Nine Inch Nails is pretty famous, but he hasn't taken that next step up to legendary rock status. Chris Brenna is the drummer who's featured on this album. He's the only other real person on the album, but he's not a member of Nine Inch Nails. Trent Reznor had a band before, and then it all imploded and stuff. And he was really, I'm just surrounding myself with people on stage because he can't play everything on stage at once.
Right.
And he felt like if I were to do like something solo on stage, I'd feel too like naked and out there in front of everybody. So he needs people anyways, but he does do like all the layering and stuff on these except for drums.
Cool.
Anyways, he winds up at this place where he wants to make this new album. He goes ahead and leaves TVT Records, which he had to deal with later on with Pretty Hate Machine and stuff. But he winds up at Interscope. They let him start his own sub-label, Nothing Records.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, and Nothing Records is what launches Marilyn Manson's career later on. Trent Reznor had been dealing with feeling deep depression and drug addiction. And I'll talk about it later, but the release of this album just makes it even worse.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, because of fame.
Yeah.
In making the album, Trent stated that he kept doubting it, and he wanted to like remake it and stuff and all this stuff until he finally recognized it's a whole piece. You can't just like, when you listen to it from front to back, that's where it made the most sense.
Which is why this is a great selection for our podcast, where we listen to albums from front to back.
Yeah, because Closer is a good single, but like, you need to listen to the whole.
It's not as good for my podcast where we listen to albums back to front. It's called Couples Only.
Yeah, so they decide in '94 to go into the studio to write something. A lot of this stuff they write in the studio. Most of the songs in this album are just written there.
What studio?
So the studio,
that look you just gave me
is I can't remember the exact address. Is the house that Sharon Tate was murdered at?
Oh my god!
Oh, wow.
Did you know this?
No.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, I thought you were waiting.
No. Sorry, just to preface, I didn't have time to do anything.
Okay, we had mentioned this previously, where I was like, do you know where they recorded that? And you're like, and because I think you listened to it, you're like, man, they must have picked some like weird studio or something to record this in. And I was like, you don't know anything about it? And you were like, no. And I was like, just wait.
Oh man.
He went to the house that had belonged to Roman Polanski, who was married to Sharon Tate in the 1960s. The Manson family went to the house, murdered Sharon Tate, cut the baby out of her stomach, and wrote pigs or piggy or pig or whatever on the door and her blood and all this stuff. So they went to the studio. All these people are like, oh, he wanted like a dark vibe for it and stuff. And he wanted to feel the ghosts of the house influencing
That's the right house to pick for
album
that.
and stuff. Yeah. So Reznor told Entertainment Weekly, though, that despite the notoriety attached to the house, he chose to record there because he looked at a lot of places and this just happened to be the one I liked the most. He explained that he was fascinated with the house due to his interest in American folklore. But he has stated he does not want to, quote, support serial killer bullshit.
Cool.
So
Okay.
he's like cool. Still like going like, it's just, it had a good sound and stuff, although it does play into it, the vibe of the album and everything. He did label the studio Le Pig.
Cool.
When they were there. So part of the way that they wrote this album was Reznor would get up in the morning, he would go through what was in his head. He's in he's like in this like drug addicted, very alcoholic state at the time. During the weeks, him and Chris would lock in and they would record. On the weekends, they would have Jane's Addiction come over.
Whoa,
they would have,
no way.
They had all these like famous band stuff come over, and they would get fucked up, and they would do a ton of drugs and just get like fucking crazy. And then Monday would hit, and they were back at it for the week.
Good for them.
Yeah. So
Weekend Warriors.
He'd wake up in the morning. He would write lyrics, and then while he was doing that, Chris would just walk around and he would sample sounds and stuff, and he would run them through.
No way.
Yeah, he'd run them through a key, through a synthesizer or whatever, and come up with loops,
just like Washed Out. Literally, just like Washed Out.
So everything that's sampled on this is them like going around like finding plates and like breaking them, and then like looping that into a weird sound. So he would have these loops. Trent Reznor would pick from them, and then Trent Reznor would like pick something out and be like, "This is a fantastic loop. We're basing a whole song on this today." And so like they would just write a new song that made it onto this album that day.
Wow.
And they would pair it with lyrics that he'd written that morning. So it worked out pretty well. He said some of the influences for this album going in were Bowie's Berlin Trilogy and Iggy Pop's The Idiot. Russell Mills created the album artwork.
Yeah, what the hell is that? Even the album artwork is creepy.
Yeah, it looks very abstract.
So dark.
So Reznor gave him a list of words to work off of for what he would do. The words included attrition, wound, and decay.
Oh, I see a decay for sure.
Yeah. And so Mills just like went to work, like creating all this, like gory, kind of creepy looking. Yeah. Consisting of a 2-foot square wooden panel slathered in plaster, oils, acrylics, rusted metals, dead insects, wax, varnishes, blood of Mills's own blood.
Oh my God.
And surgical bandaging. Wound took about 2 weeks to complete.
Wow.
And so, basically they're able to get all these like small shots from this big canvas, and they use it to release all the singles on, and they use it for all the albums.
So smart, dude.
I have this on vinyl.
You have the canvas?
And I have the canvas with his blood. I have this on vinyl, and I have the CD, and both of them have like fold outs. I meant to bring them and I forgot.
That's okay.
They both have fold outs that show you all this artwork for this thing, and it was like so well made, and you can see like birds' feathers like ground up in there and shit. Like yeah, it's all this like
it's so fucked up.
I mean, they knew what they were going for with this album. This thing like tonally was set from the beginning.
Yeah, there's no ambiguity. Of what is happening with this at all.
So the tone is all set, but the music's not written. And then they write all the music.
Oh, interesting.
There, yeah, I'm sure he had some ideas in his head going in, but like some of those loops, they just based full songs off of.
That's cool.
So so they just go in and they just like write they write most of this fucking thing like there in the studio with all this feeling around them and stuff, and it comes out into this.
Do you still say is 9 Inch Nails your favorite band?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of the fact that Nate's favorite band is 9 Inch Nails?
I never would have guessed.
No, you would never think that,
right?
I know. I told him on the train, I was like, going to a 9 Inch Nails concert?
Yeah, you see some crazy outfits.
You see people like they're dressed up like goths and stuff, you know, if that's your thing, whatever. But like, and I'm there wearing like a tank top and shorts.
Yeah.
But they're my favorite band.
Yeah, it's wild because I don't think that I would ever imagine you making any music that would sound like 9 Inch Nails, particularly.
It's just well-focused music too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hyper-focused. Like it's exactly. I feel like that's exactly what was in his head.
I think that's 100%. What I admire the most about Trent Reznor is that like he has an idea and he fully commits to it, and it shows in the work afterwards.
Yeah.
And there's other people who just kind of vaguely have albums out there sometimes. Right. So what's your relationship with 9 Inch Nails?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, my relationship with 9 Inch Nails would have started, I think, at the same time as you. We probably played Bite the Hand That Feeds.
Oh, on
Rock Band.
Cool.
I think that's how you would have been introduced to them.
I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Okay. Yeah. I know that's how I was introduced to them, and then
I definitely knew The Hand That Feeds.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is that the name of the song? The Hand That Feeds, not Bite the Hand That Feeds. Okay. Yeah, and then this was around the time that our musical taste started to really divert a lot, and we were high school teenage boys, so we just argued
about didn't get along.
Yeah, everything. And a big part of it was arguing about music. And in my stubbornness, I was like, well, he really likes 9 Inch Nails, so I have to not like 9 Inch Nails.
Really?
So this was the first time, listening to this is the first time I ever listened to this front to back, for sure. Although I would have heard at least the front half of the album quite a bit, because you, being the older brother, had to drive me to school. So you would pop this in, and there's no way we would have gotten through the whole album.
Yeah, still have that CD.
Yeah.
What's your
dude? Nothing. I saw the logo on people's like shirts and stuff here and there, but other than that, I had no idea what genre it was. I've never listened to industrial anything before. You were the first person to ever show me, and I like play a 9 Inch Nails song for me.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember what I played something, and
it was not on this album, but I was like, "This is."
You were like, "This is fucking crazy."
I know. Like, this doesn't sound like Les Paul. What is this name?
So I'll be brief. I've seen 9 Inch Nails live 3 times. The first time I saw 9 Inch Nails was in Arizona, and Explosions in the Sky opened for them, and it was a pretty fucking good show.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. It might have been 8th grade. Our older brother gave me 3 CDs. Because I was getting really into music. I was playing drums on Rock Band all the time, and then I got a real drum kit.
Cool.
And my older brother was like, okay, he's getting into music. But he just kind of gifted me, I think for my birthday, 3 albums, through 3 CDs. He gave me Dookie by Green Day, Appeal to Reason by Rise Against, and The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails.
Wow.
Yeah. And Dookie, I need to just re-listen to. I think the album's fine. I don't know. I know a lot of people who think it's just like amazing. I think it's okay. Appeal to Reason by Rise Against, I kind of hate now. I listened to those. I didn't really get much out of 2 of those albums, but the Downward Spiral like really stuck with me. And then I just immersed myself in 9 Inch Nails and fucking
you grew your nails out to 9 inches.
I just grew my nails to 9 inches. The band name too. Yeah, Trent Reznor has just said he's like, it just sounds cool.
It does.
Yeah,
it is. It's a good band name.
Not everything has to mean something if it just sounds cool. Fuck it sounds cool.
And also like industrial rock, 9 Inch Nails. I mean, they just feel like they go hand in hand. So.
You want to jump in?
Yeah, let's get into it
really quick. The gear.
Yeah, sorry, dude. The gear.
It's okay. It's just the one piece of gear I wanted to talk about. In a Guitar World 1994 interview, he goes, "Hey, what kind of guitars do you play, man?" And he goes, "Mostly an 80s Les Paul Custom. I also used an Explorer and a Jackson I have, for which I told the company just put the world's loudest pickup in this." Okay, let's jump in. It sounds like 5 or 6 noises on top of that. What a way to intro your album.
It's like a million noises on top of each other, like right at the end.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
That
Mr. Self-Destruct.
Dude, that song is nuts.
I'm gonna be honest. This is my least favorite song on the album. Okay. Straight off the bat. I feel like I'm having a panic attack when I listen to this song.
It makes me hyped up, like I want to go beat somebody up.
Yeah. You get this like fucking burst of energy.
Yeah, exactly.
At the beginning of this fucking album.
In which the very beginning sound, I was like, oh, I wonder what that is. And I remembered I wrote it down.
Yeah.
That I thought it was a punching bag. It's a sample from the film THX 1138.
George Lucas.
Which is literally...
How do you know that? I know, but
that's George Lucas's big. That's his big first film that got him Star Wars.
I had no idea.
But that sound is literally a man being beaten.
Oh,
so the first thing you hear on the album is a man being
because you can hear him in there. I mean, you can hear the boom, boom. And there's this guy going like, yeah.
Snow basketball.
Yeah, wow, I did not know. Yeah,
crazy, right? That's how you start. He's setting the scene for the album. With someone getting tortured.
And then it speeds up.
Yes.
And then just jumps into the fucking song.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I mentioned this on the last album, but the syncopation in this song, again, is like anxiety inducing to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Interesting. Yeah, because this just hypes me up, dude. Yeah. I get fucking excited. Most often, the albums have an opener that introduces you to the theme of the album. This one does a great job.
Yeah, I'm prepared for the onslaught.
Yeah. You're like, I have no idea where this is going to go. But at the same time, you're like, it's going to be crazy. This isn't about to be just like a tiptoe through the tulips.
Yeah. I would say I think that this song is a little bit more frantic than the rest of the album.
Oh, frantic is a great word, man.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's still a good still a good taste.
I mean, the whole song is built around addiction, and like he's beginning his ascent into the downward spiral where he has just done heroin for the first time. And I mean they have the lyrics that are like going back and forth for him too, where the lyrics are kind of like in conversation with one another, where he's like I'm the lover in your bed, and I control you. I am the sex that you provide, and I control you. I'm the hate you try to hide, and I control you. And it's this like counter, this like the whole thing of the drugs are going to just take over your life. Right. Everything is going to be about it.
Even in parts of this album that I'm not crazy about.
Yeah.
Like I always recognize that instrumentally and musically and I guess lyrically. Like looking at this album objectively now and not through the eyes of a dumb teenager, I'm like, yeah, like Trent Reznor is a genius. Like
how he put this together, I do not understand. It's really impressive. Even if I don't particularly love every song or portions of every song, it's incredible. So I'll just put that out there now with that big caveat to any other like critiques I have.
At 150, there's a tasteful cutout of the whole band, and the bass is featured with some weird ambient noise and whispers, which freaked me out.
The whispers are the
having it in like headphones. I was just like, this is I guess doing what it was designed to do.
Yeah, the whispers are coming in saying like, "You let me do this to you. I am an exit." Anyways, Piggy.
Yeah.
Now that I know the story behind the studio, God.
Yeah.
The first thing I wrote was, I love how the snare is mixed. Ask Nate.
I don't know how they mixed it, but they used it.
Sounds fucking great.
Yeah, they played it in that house. I'm sure that like the rooms are not designed for it, but but then you listen to like later on March of the Pigs and everything is like better suited. So they are in control of their environment. You know, however they're mixing everything.
Yeah.
Great bass line.
Yeah.
I love the lyrics.
Oh yeah.
Nothing gonna stop me now. Something like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't care,
dude.
Anymore.
The organ enters at 118, and then behind that there's screaming, but also he adds in not only the screaming but reverse noises to emulate screams too.
Yeah.
And it is really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Hearing like a natural
creepy,
scream with an
dude.
artificial scream mixed in together, I don't know, like.
Yeah.
I can't fixate on one thing, like, oh, that's a real scream. It just confused my brain a lot.
It's fucking crazy.
Oh
dude.
my God.
I mean, and it really like evokes emotions, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like,
I was so scared this whole song.
yeah.
I think it's a good balance against the first song. Like as you're moving through the album, it feels like, I don't know, it just feels good.
I mean, they're bringing it in and going like fucking crazy with Mr. Self-Destruct, and then you wind up on Piggy, and it's like slowing down a little bit. A lot of people say this is about. I don't remember his name. I'm not going to look it up. The ex-bandmate who was a guitarist who played for Trent Reznor, who was he left the band, and so he's like nothing can stop me now because I don't care anymore, and he's like moving on from him being in the band. So according to whatever online, people had said that the guy's nickname had been Pig.
Okay.
So and so he's referencing him, but also that's what they wrote. That's what the Manson murders, though, they wrote with the blood too.
Yeah,
so I'm sure that's also tying into being influenced by the house.
I just made the assumption that it was about cops because, like we said with the last album, I just don't listen to lyrics enough. So I was like, oh, it's Trent Reznor. He's talking about pigs, probably cops.
Same exact conclusion. Over here. Yeah.
No, I think it's actually nothing to do with police. On this.
When I really gave it a listen and I read the lyrics.
I mean, when I was in high school, I assumed that too. Yeah. And then as time went on, I like read about it and stuff. Yeah.
Killer drum fill at 255.
Yeah,
they get really weird and delayed and layered on top of each other.
I mean, the drums are like layered on top of each other, and they're also like not with the tempo at all.
No, there's no rhythm. They're just kind of staggered and like chopped up. Not chopped up, just like choppy.
I wonder how you do that live.
I don't. Yeah, I've seen them play. I have seen them play Piggy live. I don't remember how they did it, but I mean, I think Chris is able to just do it.
Yeah, man, you got to be a good drummer, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Heresy. It looks like Henry.
Henry. Yeah,
Heresy. Dude, this song goes hard. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Heresy.
Yeah, it comes like bursting in basically.
I love the title because it's just like heresy. To me, it's him being like, "Hey, there's just a little bit of a heresy." that's just what this song is.
Yeah, it's a great intro. It goes right into the chorus of "God is dead." Yeah, and he's like screaming.
And he says like, "What? Nobody cares.
No one cares. If there is a hell, I'll see you there."
I love the words in this song so much.
His lyrics are like just critical of just like people like basically like bullshitting themselves, and then but yeah, he's got the answers to ease my curiosity. He dreamed a God up and called it Christianity.
Oh man.
Yeah.
when he screams that part, at first I thought his vocals were being blown out like intentionally, but there's like a synth that he layers behind it to make it sound like he's like screaming louder than he really is, which only amplifies like the emotion of that because he's already screaming fucking loud.
Yeah. And then once he's done singing in the chorus, he drops that Les Paul, like you were saying. Drops it right in, and it sounds so dirty,
but
dude.
It's such a simple line. It
is. And I think it's like the most distinct, like this is a guitar, like playing as a guitar that you've seen in the album so far.
Besides his voice, the drums, this is the only sound that I like know what it is.
Right.
And usually I can call pretty much any instrument that I hear.
Yeah.
So it's just nice. And it's the tone on it is fantastic.
It's like this one is instrumentally like much more cohesive, I think, than the last two.
Sure.
Yeah. And not in like not to say the last two are bad for that. It's just like it's a change.
Yeah, he's showing his chops. There's all kinds of factory noise. I kept thinking this was like a factory.
Yeah.
Factory.
Oh, totally. I think he's trying to compare it to like people create religions like it's on a factory line.
Oh.
I just want to point out just some of the lyrics because this is just so... He flexed his muscles to keep his flock of sheep in line. He made a virus that would kill off all the swine. More pig stuff. His perfect kingdom of killing, suffering, and pain demands devotion, atrocities done in his name.
That's some heavy stuff.
So good.
Oh my God. Good. You could say that in a pulpit and behind a church and it would sound so like cinematic.
Then religion comes up later on in the album too, but as his... as the protagonist trying to like replace religion and stuff in their life with sex and drugs and everything. But this is sort of a just like these are my issues with religion and what I hate about it. And he sort of just like one and dones it and then moves on to the next song.
You said the protagonist. Is there like a protagonist and an antagonist throughout this album that are speaking, or
everything's up to interpretation? But I do feel like the protagonist is just the character who's becoming drug addicted, and then the antagonist is their selves that is the addict.
Okay.
And they're like being overtaken by drugs throughout the album.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was an album about authoritarianism in the world.
Well, so they do. So once we get to Ruiner, it does talk about like how that song can be thought of. I mean, you could think of that song as like somebody who is a narcissist who, ruins somebody's life by being like, not demeaning, but whatever, domineering to them, and basically like ruining everything in their life after that because they just were so awful to them as a child. Okay, I mean, you could think of it that way. Anyways. So you're not.
Yeah, I'll wait till like we get to the end of the album. But I was like using my international relations degree to like investigate this album. I was like, wow, this is so interesting.
You left that out of your bona fides?
Oh, hey, sorry guys. Just so you know, I did get an international relations degree from University of Maryland. It really comes in handy sometimes when you're listening to music.
When you're listening to 90s. Dude. March of the Pigs.
I wrote drums. Yeah. Dude, this is my favorite song on the whole album.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get enough of that crazy weird time signature.
It's great. Yeah. I really like this song.
So it is, it's 29/8.
Oh my God.
That's the first on no singles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, I couldn't find the stat on here, but it's like the highest charting song ever with like such an odd time signature. It hit number 59 on the Hot 100.
No way, really?
Yeah, they pushed this as a single.
I'm always down for some weird time signatures, man.
Yeah,
this is a crazy song to push as a single.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably in 1994 that's a lot easier, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah, those drums are just so fucking crazy. I mean, they make the whole song.
But that's
totally
that deep synth pop. That deep synth.
Yeah,
that's the dirtiest electronic noise I have ever heard.
Yeah.
What is it? 29/8.
Yeah, it's great. And then his vocals too.
Are incredible.
He keeps them short, and then they go long, and then he keeps them short again. Yeah, I mean he's right. Everything is right there with it.
I wrote down cacophony of chaos.
Yeah. This also hit number 6 in Canada.
Cool, dude.
Man, Canadians
playing hockey to this. Hell yeah.
This is the pump up song on the album for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I also thought this felt frantic, but like in a really good way.
It's just one of those songs where it's kind of like you get what you get. Oh, I mean, the piano in it is great. I mean, because this thing's going hard in 29/8, and then it just will slow down.
Well, there's a big energy drop
4/4.
around 50 seconds.
Yeah. It just goes into the kick, and I think that's the synth in the back, and it's just Trent singing and stuff, and then it goes in those. Doesn't it make you feel better? And it just drops out for a minute, and then you just get those fucking drums in there again. But he's just got these like simple piano notes in there.
It's like the first time he does the vocals and the piano, it's just half the phrase, right? And he gives you the second half of the phrase, the second go around.
Yeah,
I think that's really well done. It's like, something feels off, but like we can tell what it is. I don't know if the average listener will be like, oh, that's just missing half of the phrase intentionally.
Right.
It works, dude.
And on this one,
so good.
Now
it's
can
the
also
classic,
family and everything is all right. He ends it on.
Yeah. It's like creating tension, and like normally in like a normal pop song that you'd hear, it's like create tension, immediately resolve tension.
Yeah.
And he's like, create tension, go back to that drum beat.
Yeah.
Resolve the tension later.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I said this while we were listening to it, but the single has a remix version they did called March of the Fuckheads. Yeah. I mean, this is just like the most inappropriate music to show to a kid.
There's buried screams in here throughout the song, and it's from the film Sorcerer.
Wait, March of the Pigs?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so in March of the Pigs, there's buried screams that he sampled like throughout the song.
The movie The Sorcerer?
From the film Sorcerer.
Oh, dude, Sorcerer?
From 1977.
William Friedkin, that movie kicks ass.
So at 47 minutes and 19 seconds in the movie, that's where the sample is.
Okay.
And he puts it in the song somewhere. And there's another buried scream from The Exorcist 2, the Heretic.
Oh, yeah.
And this occurs around 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Cool.
It's just crazy that he's sampling these like death-curdling screams.
Good notes.
Thank you. I was so excited to share this.
That's cool.
All right, what's next?
Closer.
Man, what a good song. I wrote the beginning things. It reminds me of Khalil Gibran by Starfucker, if you know that song.
Yeah. I
was like, wait, is it on shuffle right now?
He actually has a song later called Starfucker.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That intro noise is a sample from Nightclubbing by Iggy Pop.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense. It was one of his influences for the album.
Maybe.
Hi, Mandy.
You've been driving me nuts this week.
You tell him, Mandy.
In my personal opinion, because I love Nine Inch Nails too, this is, I think, the best example I've ever heard of like how layering can just affect everything about a song.
And it's proof that a slow burn is a good burn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because that ending,
that build
the ending builds
awesome.
for a minute 50.
Yeah.
But if you sit and you just listen to it and pay attention, it really pays off. I mean, because he lifts it all up, then he drops all of it down just into those single notes that I kept on saying piano on. But it is, it's
like it's a synth, but it's like got some kind of tiny bit of overdrive on it, which is so nice and tasteful.
They shot a music video for this actually that has an X-rated version that you can't like that. Yeah, they had to like take shit out of, and then there's
really
tasteful
hi-hat.
Yeah, so when they wrote this, they knew this would be the hit single.
Really,
but he hadn't put lyrics to it yet, and they were like, "Oh, great, we have a marketable single. This is wonderful." So then he put the lyrics in of I want to fuck you like an animal. And he was like, fuck him, dude. I don't need to just be like commercializing myself. I want to like be myself. And so it still wound up being played on radio stations because this we'll get to it. This album was huge when it came out. And he had to, and that they were like, we need a censored version of this song to put on radio stations. So during the fuck parts, they took out just as much as they could for people to let pass the censors, so you can still hear the and fuck.
Really?
Yeah. They kept on giving it to them, being like, "Is this enough? Is this enough? Is this enough?" So you can still hear the "I wanna fuck you like an animal."
That makes sense because it sounds like in that version it.
Yeah, I've heard the edited version on the radio on 93.3, and I'm like, I know what he's saying. Like, yeah.
There's a cool vibe switch at 3 minutes in.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Like that. There's just a lot of tastiness going on here. It's still freaking creepy. Okay? I'm still scared, but it's good.
I like how I was saying heresy is just like, it is just saying what it is. I like that this is like closer, that it almost sounds like a nice, like, oh, like, I want to be closer to you.
Yeah, I want to fuck you.
It's like, I want to
be close.
Fuck you like an animal.
Yeah.
You are not.
Because the lyric is
advertising correctly this time.
Because at this point in the journey for the protagonist, they are now deeper into their addiction, and they're trying to find things to replace religion and like clean living and stuff with.
Yeah.
And so he says like, I want to fuck you like an animal, and you get me closer to God.
Okay, yeah, because my note that I had on that was replacing religion with a person.
Yes. So I mean, that's basically it, except for it's like not even a person, it's sex.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. It's like dismissing even the person. It's just the act. Yeah.
It's just a pleasure. Yeah. Basically. That's really interesting, yeah.
The slow burn is incredible, and then it all just like cuts out with that piano or the synth.
The synth, yeah,
dude.
Yeah. And then, his transition into Ruiner is great.
And then
dude, I know
perfectly,
but like just enough, just enough.
Yeah.
Ruiner.
Mm-hmm. Nothing can stop.
And then he like,
damn, dude, what a good song. This one's layered really well too.
It is.
Yeah. Yes. We talked about a motif earlier. It's like some like minor notes or whatever. But you're saying that that orchestral kind of part that's swelling in this song is like the introduction of a new motif.
Yeah, let me make sure.
Which this is like kind of a turning point in the album. So
yeah, this to me is where the album becomes even more uncomfortable. Like this is the beginning.
Well, even that guitar solo was really well done, really well executed, and it's still creepy.
Yeah, definitely. JR, do you know how he gets that effect?
In the guitar solo?
Yeah, what is that?
Dude, that's just like a maxed out fuzz pedal.
That's all that is.
Who's to say what kind of pedal? It could be 3 or 4 of them chained together. But that shit's like blown out to oblivion.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like he's also putting some like wah on it or something.
Can you play it again?
Yeah.
Oh, wah. You know what I think it is though? Like, you know, if you cock a wah like halfway. That, but he's used an EQ pedal.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
His fuzz tone on that is so freaking awesome, though.
Yeah, I think lyrically this might be my favorite song.
Okay, yeah, you didn't hurt me, nothing can hurt me. You didn't hurt me, nothing can stop me now.
Yeah, there's a whole part about like him kind of reflecting on it. How'd you get so big? How'd you get so strong? How'd you get so hard? How did it get so long?
Right.
Kind of like reflecting on like, Jesus, how did we get here? And then
because it's like it's really it's really phallic.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I guess that makes sense. You believed in all your lies, didn't you? The Ruiner's got a lot to prove. He's got nothing to lose, and now he made you believe.
See, and I feel like the Ruiner. So some people's interpretation has been like the Ruiner is like an abusive parent or something in your life, but but other like. I feel like just keeping with the whole drug thing, it feels like the Ruiner is his addicted self that's coming, like his new personality is coming in.
Yeah, totally. I think that totally makes sense. I think I must have had some preconception before listening to this album where I thought that it was very political. And so I listened to it with that mindset.
Yeah.
And so then I was able to interpret everything that way, even if that's not how it was.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's doing a lot of transitions in this song, in the album simultaneously, right? There's a new sound, a new feeling. So in this particular transition, the horn interlude, like that, like propaganda death march type.
Yeah.
I think it's like a callback / continuation to the solo piano part in March of the Pigs. The fuzzed out solo is super nice. It's like nothing crazy. It's tasteful. It gave me like classic rock adjacent. Like at the backing part, and everything. I'm like, this is cool. We're going into classic rock for a second. I'm so here for this.
Yeah.
And then he just climbs up the fretboard, and then jumps right back into that crazy factory industrial stuff.
Yeah.
It was cool. It's just like he's proving that he can slip in and out of different genres within like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And do it well, and it's not some cheesy gimmick, right?
Yeah. He knows he knows his music. Yeah.
I will say the ending was super abrupt, and I don't think I liked it.
See, I like it because he's playing with the lyrics, where it's like, nothing can stop me now, you didn't hurt me, nothing. And then he goes, nothing can stop. And then he gets stopped in the middle of his sentence because the next song is about to ruin everything that he's...
Because I didn't even know what he was saying there.
Yeah.
Until he pointed it out.
Yeah, so it's working with the song lyrically because because it's cutting him off because he's getting like so in his head about like nothing can stop me, and it cuts him off in the middle of that thought because the album's about to move on and be like, you are not the master of your domain.
No, dude.
Yeah.
There's samples in Ruiner also.
Yeah.
So the beginning is Beatbox by Art of Noise from 1984.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's that hip hop beat that's at the beginning. Yeah.
There's a buried scream in here, and it's from the film Parents from 1989.
Okay.
Never heard of it. There are pitched up elephant noises from the film. In the intro to the film, The Elephant Man from 1980.
Right. Well, he winds up working with David Lynch after this too.
Oh,
yeah.
For what movie?
Something Highway. Man,
Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for
David Lynch and the Stillers.
Lost Highway.
Yeah, good relationship.
Should we do it? The Becoming?
Should we do it?
Huh?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, shall we?
What a damn good song, guys.
Yeah, this song is wild.
I really like this song.
Oh, okay. They said I don't really like this one. I was like, what? Wait, what did you just say? Opens on the that distorted screaming and the like electronic drums.
The screaming is it's in the background from a film called Robot Jocks from 1989, and in the movie it's a mass death trap. It's like a mass death.
It makes sense. I mean, because that's all you can hear. Is
I know.
What it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, the intro's crazy.
Yeah, Nate, I think that you mentioned there's 3 parts to this song.
I think there's actually more like 4, but
it sounds to me like a push and pull and like a conversation between the antagonist and the protagonist in a way that I think most of this album is like a song from a perspective, and this one goes between the two. Right.
Because this is where we're starting to get into like he's falling further into his addiction, and he's like, and now he's got this like alternative side of him that's really just becoming.
Becoming. Yeah.
And it's the becoming. That's like the whole thing, right? It's very like nightmarish kind of, and then it escapes. It drops into this like warm. What is it? Is that acoustic guitar?
Yeah, it's acoustic guitar.
What did you say, Brandon? A breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I said it feels like a breath of fresh air in this album.
And he momentarily has lyrics there.
Yeah, what does he say?
He's saying, hiding backwards inside of me, I feel so unafraid. Annie, I don't know who Annie is. Hold a little tighter, I might just slip away. And then it blasts hard back into the next part. And when it does, it says, I won't give up. It wants me dead. God damn this noise inside my head. So I think you get a little bit of this like protected space that he's in before it just blasts right back into
like him, who he really is, there for like just 1 second. Of like,
before like
what's
all of this like
down?
Takes care, like or takes over.
Yeah,
and it's like, I mean, this guy's fucked.
Yeah, dude.
and the screaming in it was like, wow, get up! It wants me dead. It's so like horror movie adjacent.
Yes.
Also, Chris, the drummer, said that this was part of at the beginning of this too. There's just silverware that they dropped on the ground in the kitchen that they recorded, and then they fed it through all these loopers and stuff. And it's in there. There's like these like industrial sounds and stuff, but they've put all this. It's really just silverware being dropped on the ground in the kitchen, and they've put all these weird effects on it.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah,
this is creepy shit.
Wild.
Yeah,
this is what you get murdered to.
Yeah, dude.
Again, like a lot of these songs are like death songs, which is like that's the point.
Yeah, that is the point. And then the long outro on this is great. It goes out to these like weird like wave kind of sounds.
Yes, dude. There's like a crazy jumbled sampled synth solo in there somewhere towards the end.
Yeah. I Do Not Want This.
Yeah, this one's good.
Oh my god, I love how he ends that shit.
Yeah, all the instruments drop out, and it's just I want to do something that matters. There's the constant snare beat in there for like most of the song. The dun dun. Yeah, what do you think?
What do I think? It's a great freaking song, dude. Some weird spoken word on top of the song at like 34 seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
105 guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that guitar in it.
Yeah, there's like the swirling synth in there. He has the little like spoken word part where he's just kind of saying like he thinks that he's screwed. Basically, he's like maybe this is a cry for help.
I think this is my second favorite on the album.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's also like you can take it completely out of the context of the album and listen to this and be like, yeah, stop telling me how I feel. I know how I feel.
Right.
Oh, at the kind of near the end, I had headphones on listening to this, and it's EQ'd. One of the verses is in the right headphone, and then the next verse is in the left ear.
Yes.
I thought that was so fucking cool because that's like probably like his normal self and then his addicted self.
Yeah.
It's like, this is really cool.
Yeah, he's bouncing all that back and forth.
Yeah.
And that was the thing is listening to the song in high school, I had the separate headphones.
Yeah,
And I had one that
dude.
broke. And then when I listened to this,
You just couldn't hear him.
couldn't hear part of it. Yeah.
Or if you were trying to pretend to listen to teacher talk, you had to have only one headphone in.
Just the ending is just I want to know everything. I want to be everywhere. I want to fuck everyone in the world. I want to do something that matters. And that just goes over and over and over again at the end. But it's louder and louder.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's good.
Big man
with a big
gun.
gun. Big man with a big gun.
Big gun.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wrote. Oh, is it?
I just wrote Big Man, Big Gun.
What a crazy little interlude.
Yeah, it's not a long song.
No.
But it just kicks ass for the time.
Uh-huh. My only note on this was short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah, it is. It's really, I mean, this thing is pretty straightforward. Big man with a big gun is definitely him. I mean, he just says it in the song. He goes, I got a big old dick and I love to have fun.
I think this is a continuation of the Fuck You Like an Animal song. Which one is that?
Yeah, Closer.
Yeah.
He's now in this place where it's taken over. This guy is completely fucked up now, and he's just like thinking of things in like sexual terms and stuff. But it's a badass song. It created a lot of controversy when it came out.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean it's just about like fucking someone's face. There's no way around this. It's just a really grotesque song if you look at the lyrics.
Yeah.
But it's only because it's from the point of view of a character who's spiraled so hard into addiction that they like don't know what they're doing anymore.
Right.
Like they have lost control of themselves. And Bob Dole said some shit about it back in the day. And like it was like all these politicians were really upset, and they pointed to it as being a song that like really pushed things over the edge for like violence in America and stuff. And it is on its own a very like kind of violent and grotesque song, but in the context of the album, it's somebody who has lost control to addiction.
Oh wait, Big Man with a Gun has the scariest noise on it, in my opinion, of the whole album.
Oh, yeah.
They sound just like ferocious cats just squabbling.
Yeah, the thing at the beginning is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking wild sounds on this thing. All right, Warm Place I can skip pretty quick.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, A Warm Place. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a beautiful song.
It's
It
a
is.
nice like pulsing synth in it. It feels like a heartbeat almost.
I think it's a very conscious placement too, because you just listen to a song that's actually kind of distressing in a way
Yeah.
if you're really listening to it, and then they give you this like really soft synthy song with just like this kind of just like this kick that's just going in the back and there's so you kind of get to like relax from it a little bit.
I don't know if I can explain this, but I said that it feels retrospective, like it's looking back at the album. And it's like, hey, look what we just went through. That was crazy, right?
That's crazy, right? There's more. We're almost done, but yeah, nice. Just A Warm Place. I mean, that really does describe the song
100%.
and the placement on the album.
Yes.
Eraser.
He doesn't even have his own voice anymore. It's just distortion.
Yes.
Oh my god,
yeah.
dude.
His voice just turns into the distortion at the end of it. He's screaming, "Kill me, kill me, kill me!"
In that house where those people were murdered. Like what?
Yeah.
This album has a lot of levels.
So I think, I mean, what do you guys think of the song?
Well,
It's scary.
I will say my opening note on it was because it's instrumental for most of the beginning of the song.
It is. The lyrics don't kick in until 3 minutes 30 seconds in.
Yeah. So my opening note was back-to-back instrumental ? And then a little sub bullet. Oh, Nope.
Oh no.
And it opens with the
Yeah.
like
so
the sound,
creepy.
like the
Yeah,
really close up sound of an eraser on a piece of paper. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably something else, but it sounds like an eraser.
This is another slow burn that pays off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I said
yeah.
I really liked the build in this. I know that the build in Closer is really good, but I think I like this one more.
I guess at 3 minute 30 seconds,
Yeah.
I wrote down this part reminds me of the song "Cocaine" by Fiddler.
Oh.
If you've ever listened,
Cocaine running around in my brain. Yeah. I mean, he starts screaming in this song.
Yes,
because he
yes,
just
dude.
But it starts off as very soft, and then it just goes into "Kill Me" because I think he's kind of like running down his options in the lyrics, and he's figuring out that he's so fucking far into this addiction that he just wants to die at this point. Like because we're kind of getting him back a little bit, but his sane self is like, I can't handle this anymore.
I wash my hands of this. Just end it.
I will say this was the one where I was like, I don't understand how this fits into my authoritarian idea here. I was like, I don't get it. Why is he giving up?
Yeah. Reptile?
Yeah. There's nothing like a low, slow bend on one of the heavier strings.
Yeah.
I specifically called that out. I don't know if I agree with this. When I took my notes, I said this was my favorite song on the album.
Yeah.
I might even have to listen to it again to see.
I changed my
sure.
opinion a lot, like in the recording, because I'm like talking about it and like I hear what Nate says, and I'm like, oh shit, you're so right, dude. Let me change my favorites around.
But I think I was like really drawn to that part because that sounds so metal, like back to
it does.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
It's some of the roots of what I like. Yeah, where I was like, oh man, that's like
the
that's
bending.
Really cool.
Yeah, the guitar is great.
Yeah, the guitar on this kicks ass. It's so dark and gritty.
Yeah. One of the things I did notice is there's a ton of industrial noise. I would say more in this one than any of the other songs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But if you look at the lyrics,
they're
super like organic.
Yeah.
It's talking about like leaving a trail of honey and opening herself to the insects and like, I don't know. It's like a weird juxtaposition.
He's talking about a sex worker.
Yeah.
He's hit this point in his addiction. The only person that he's operating like machinery. I think that's the metaphor there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now having to use like money to buy sex, basically, and so she's like a reptile in a way. And he's not in control of this anymore. Like in the past songs, he was like kind of in control of the sexual situations. And now he's not. He's got to pay up for it. And he's like that far gone. He's like turned to this like last vice, basically. And that brings him no comfort anymore either. Oh my beautiful liar, oh my precious whore. Yeah. Like he's and it's not a diss on her. It's all this shit that he's like putting on her because he hates himself. Yeah.
Some dark shit, man.
It is, yeah.
Oh my god.
And then that headbanging breakdown that I cut into.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, it is just this dark ride that like hearing you explain the story out like this in person with the music is just, I'm just marveling at how like well constructed this album is. But I do have some notes about some of the little sounds in there. Yeah. Those intro machine sounds, they're from the film Leviathan from 1989.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. There's a looping metallic thud somewhere in there from the film Aliens.
Oh, okay.
1986.
Cool. Yeah.
And then there's a pitched up looping machine sound from Aliens in there also somewhere else. And they also sampled a woman saying, "Ugh, Kirk, help," from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974.
Yeah.
So that's pretty spooky shit.
Yeah. That is.
You're sampling like a murder movie dialogue in a house where people got murdered.
I know what part you're talking about.
Yeah, it's insane.
Man.
It's insane.
That's so cool.
It's so thoughtful and like darkly thoughtful. It's just deliberate.
I can't imagine, man. Like the at night they're working on this dark shit, and then they finish for the day, and then they watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre
inside that fucking
house.
Dude, no, I am out of here.
Probably like while doing lines of coke and
oh my god,
and drunk as hell. Yeah. The Downward Spiral.
Oh my god, that song makes me so like anxious.
Yeah, it's another uncomfortable song.
Yes, extremely.
I mean, it's just like this loop of Trent Reznor screaming, and then the guitar and the drums, but it's all behind this like wall of sounds.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you're underwater.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah, like because you feel separate from the sound, but then his voice is narrating his suicide, like that the protagonist's suicide.
It's like he's separate. He's so far lost in this shit. He's separated himself from, like, even like if the instruments and all that and has been narrating like his feelings, he's now separated from that, literally.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. His reality is like completely warped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
he's just aside from
he's like disassociated from it.
Yes.
Like,
oh my God. Yes.
Yeah. It's like a out of body experience almost.
Yeah. It just opens with lyrics. He couldn't believe how easy it was. He put the gun to his face. Bang. Those are the lyrics that like started off. Yeah. Problems do have solutions, you know.
I didn't like keep scrolling on my Spotify album.
Yeah.
And I thought this was the last song because it was, the title song of the album. And so I was a little confused because I was like, wow, that album ends with him committing suicide. And again, I didn't know it was about drugs, which now like looking at it, I'm like, oh, it was kind of obvious. But I was like, oh, he was so defiant this whole time. Then he kills himself. That's crazy. And I was like, oh, it's not the last song.
Also, he wasn't defiant this whole time,
right?
Thought
because
it was about authoritarianism.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
The watery noise at the beginning is from Aliens.
Oh, cool.
And somewhere in there's pitched down strings from the film Dead Ringers.
Oh,
1988.
Okay, cool.
Just
all right, dude. I mean, they're being like creative with this like dark stuff in the subculture.
They're only pulling from horror movies when they do movies, which is so interesting. Horrors, thrillers, slashers.
I mean, they had a mood that they were going for, and they were just set on it, you know? Yeah, and then the album ends on Hurt, which was not the original ending song on the album. It was him killing himself in the downward spiral.
That makes a lot of sense.
They went to A&M Studios and recorded this song. And he was like, I actually have this one more song. And they were like, I don't know, the album seems finished. So he sat down and he recorded this. And Chris and their producer, Flood, they watched him play it and they started crying, like watching him.
So they recorded this outside of the creepy house.
Yeah, this is at A&M Studios in California.
Makes so much sense because like one of my big takeaways from this album was I don't understand why Hurt is on this album.
And honestly, I don't like this song at all.
You don't like Hurt at all?
At all. It is just not something I like at all.
I mean, it's kind of impossible to talk about it without talking about the cover. What do you think of the cover?
I'm not even thinking about the cover in my mind at all. There's just like nothing vibes in this song. I think it was just this weird, extraneous, like, why would you ruin this beautiful, like, black bow of death?
Yeah. With Hurt.
Yeah, like, make it a single or whatever. Even it sounds too poppy. It's got that little section in the middle.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a studio forced him to put something on there.
Oh, yeah. No, it was him. I don't
understand this. This is the one thing I don't like. I
totally agree with you, JR.
Cool. So
I think it's so out of place. I'm so glad that we got that song. I would not have put it on this album.
It's you have this whole vision of like recording at this house where people are killed, and then you record something at some random studio.
Well, and so
I don't know, man.
So in the way that I've interpreted this is like, because he killed himself in the last one, this feels like his ghost or like afterlife or whatever self looking back on all this and being like, he's really regretting his decision to kill himself. And he's like, I threw everything away, and for what? Like, I threw it all away, and like for this addiction, and I could have gotten out of this, and like, so if I had tried really hard, and it feels like a little bit like that. If you take that interpretation too, him doing this recording in an external location, like kind of.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I'm still saying if you don't vibe with it, you don't vibe with it. But yeah, but that's like kind of a little bit of a saving grace for it. But
I think if he would have, you know how the very beginning is like that really creepy
guitar?
If that would have been the whole song, just that weird guitar just plucked a couple times, just over and over, right? With maybe some like creaky sounds and him like saying. I think that could have worked.
Yeah,
because that's more of like ghostly and
but
ethereal.
Most of the chorus is major chords.
I know. I don't. Like
which
that.
Pulls you away. It totally pulls you away from that.
Yes, I exit the album when he does that.
Yeah,
because I've seen that part in like memes and like movies.
Yeah,
like, this is not.
Oh, because you've seen it in pop culture too.
Yes, that.
See, I haven't seen it in any. Well, I have now, but I had it when I. Do you like the cover?
Do I like the cover?
Yeah, the Johnny Cash cover.
Yeah, I think the original song sucks.
And everybody likes the cover better. I mean, everybody does.
Yeah,
I mean, famously, Trent Reznor has said that he likes the cover better, right?
He said that this is Johnny Cash's song now.
Right.
He said it's no longer my song.
Good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's also because Johnny Cash actually really he had just lost June Carter.
Yeah.
And he did that cover, and it was kind of like he was really looking back on things in this way that was like so present with this song. But that's the end of the album.
10 out of 10, except for the last song.
Yeah, so on this on vinyl?
No, it's fucking scary.
Okay.
God,
so you're saying you're like, I love this album, it's a great album. Scare the shit out of me if I ever put it on vinyl.
I love this album. I love everything that went into it. It's just not something that like I would want to like physically I don't know.
Would you own this on vinyl?
No, like I said, I have a really high bar for whether or not I would
for vinyl.
Something on vinyl. Can I give like my all-encompassing thoughts on the album?
I do own this on vinyl. Yeah, what are you?
Sorry. Hey, Nate, would you own this on vinyl?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
No, you wouldn't own it on vinyl.
Whoa.
I even own it on CD. I have the CD I got.
Oh, you're a real fan.
8th grade.
Wow, you don't have a cassette?
And the CD for this too, you don't you have to like put it in like you have to like put it in backwards because there's like this see-through thing in the case, so you can look at the cover. Cool. It's really cool. All of their CDs have covers that are released like differently, where they fold out differently.
Oh, cool!
So when you collect them, it feels a little more special.
Next time I come over, show me.
I sold all my CDs because of moving and stuff.
Yeah.
If I ever get it back, I'll get the Year Zero one. I'll show you. It folds out to look like a cross.
Oh, badass!
Yeah. And it has like a cross in one hand, and on the other side there's an arm carrying a gun.
Cool.
Anyway, sorry. What are your thoughts?
Like we said before, it's lyrically super dense, which I think makes it hard for me to listen to. Instrumentally, it's also really interesting, which is like a huge plus. But I think so much of this album is about the message that he's trying to get across. Yeah. I think that is ultimately why I really liked this album.
Yeah.
I would happily never listen to it from start to end again.
Really?
I'll definitely go back and like listen to some of the songs individually, but all the way through, like it's like eating your vegetables a little bit. I'm like, oh man, this was a workout.
That's the thing is I think that I'm looking for some homework when I'm listening to music.
Yeah, I thought the concept and the commentary were great. I thought the concept was not what it really was. And honestly, like the last 4 or 5 songs didn't line up with the whole, like what I thought the album was about with the authoritarian thing. That said, I thought it was interesting. Like Trent Reznor releases this in 1994 when, for the most part, the world is in a really good place.
Right.
Economically.
Yeah.
And it's such a dense album. It's like, man, you forget almost like on a world stage that like there were a lot of people in the 90s that were not doing well.
Right. And the world reflected it well with that, if you want me to go into the other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, because this debut is very high on the Billboard chart. We'll get into that in a minute. And a lot of people really vibed with this. They followed this up with the Self-Destruct Tour, which was an apt name for it because on the tour, Reznor fell even further into his depression and his... So basically like this rocketed him to further fame. And he was like, I had to just fall back on cocaine and alcohol to get through everything. Because everybody everybody thought they knew me. What he said, you go from not being able to afford gas to going to arenas full of people who think that they know you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And so he just felt depressed and isolated.
Yeah.
So that's where we leave him right now. Today he has, I think, 1 or 2 kids. He's married. He's happy. Like, he really figured out his life. He's writing, he's winning fucking awards every year.
I love a happy ending.
The Oscars. Yeah. He gets to like run part of Apple's music.
Oh, that's awesome.
We want to try to mention this. We've already missed it a few times, but when it pops up on Rolling Stone's top 500 albums of all the time.
Oh yeah, that's
this is number 200 on their top 500 albums.
I'm gonna say number 2.
This album is a smash hit. Critics love it for the most part, except for people who are like, this thing is fucking violent and disturbing. And it is. This comes out March 8th, 1994. It winds up on the charts the week of March 26th, 1994. In the top 10 that week, at number 10, we have The Cross of Changes by Enigma.
No
idea.
No
idea.
Never heard of him.
Snoop Doggy Dogg's Doggy Style is at number 9.
Classic album.
16 weeks on the charts so far. The Color of My Love by Celine Dion is at number 8. We've got Counting Crows, August and Everything After at number 7. Mariah Carey's Music Box at number 6. Tony Braxton by Tony Braxton at number 5. 12 Play by R. Kelly at number 4. Look out. All right. The Sign by Ace of Base at number 3.
Cool.
Number 2, The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails. Number 2.
Good. Is this the highest rated Billboard album that was covered that made the charts?
I think it might. From what I've heard of your guys' episodes.
Didn't we have a number 1?
A number 1?
I think we've had a number 1.
Dude.
We'll find out. But, okay, this is just perfectly lined up, right? Number 2 is 9 Inch Nails, Downward Spiral. Number 1 is Super Unknown by Soundgarden.
Oh,
a fantastic album.
Amazing.
When I saw 9 Inch Nails at Red Rocks, Soundgarden opened for them.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You lucky bastard.
It just comes right. Yeah, because Chris.
That's crazy.
It was Chris's 50th birthday too.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks for being here, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon, this is cool, man.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, guys.
Brother.
Why'd you say it like that?
It feels weird to thank him when I'm like, I mean, you're not, like we have people who are like, can you be on our podcast? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, this is my brother. I mean,
yeah,
if you're interested,
I'm nobody.
No,
yeah.
come on.
No, dude, you came all the way out here from Hawaii just to do this.
Just for this.
Really...
This is the only reason that I came out here.
You're flying straight back as soon as you got off the plane.
Yeah, man, we got to get going. I got to catch that plane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you got to swim.
Next week,
Dire Straits by Dire Straits, and White Reaper Does It Again by White Reaper.
Chewy, what a good week.
Hey, you did this one episode. It was a lot of fun. Quickly, what's an album you want to recommend just right off the top of your head?
Jungle Jane, Masayoshi Takanaka. Like one of the best guitar players to ever live.
Awesome. Brandon, really quick, what's an album you would recommend listening to?
I'm going to cop out. My favorite album, Hosier by Hosier. It's great. Nate recommended it to me, actually, because a cute girl at a music store recommended it to him. And now it's my all-time favorite album. It's incredible.
See? So I'm just shaping your life.
Quick, Nate, what's a record you
Greatest Hits by Eagles.
Oh.
All right, nice.
That is a really good album.
It is.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
We
Brandon,
love
thanks
you.
for your opinions and
Hey.
point of view.
Aloha from the island of Hawaii.